Today's video, I'm going to give you a complete beginner's guide to PagerDuty. If you find this video useful, please consider liking and subscribing, and let's get right into it. Now the first thing we want to do is go to their website, which is PagerDuty.com, and from here you can go ahead and you can start for free. So go to this button here that says start for free. From here it's going to ask you to put your email in, it's going to ask for your name and just a little bit of information about you. Now once you've gone ahead and actually filled in that information, you're going to be brought to this onboarding here, and first of all it's going to ask you to send a test notification. Now you can skip this, or you can go ahead and put your phone number and email in and send a test notification. It's up to you which one you do, and then you're going to go and press next. Now from here we can add an integration to receive your indent in real time. So you can either set up email or API, or you can go ahead and use one of their sort of partner integrations. You've got the popular ones, so Amazon CloudWatch, Datadog. But if you go here, they've got a full list that you can go ahead and connect with straight away. And they're very easy and user-friendly to essentially connect with. But for now, I'm just going to skip this and we're going to go directly into the app here. Now, the first thing I would recommend doing when you start this, start using it, is go to the top and complete your onboarding stuff. So you're going to have 6 steps here. Receive your test notification, add team members, so you want to go to the people and the users section, and up here you can essentially add users to your account. So you can go here, add a user, put their first name in, their last name in, their email address, the license, so if you want them to be a trial or a stakeholder, their role, so you've got admin, manager, responder, observer, stakeholder, limited stakeholder, restricted access, and you can even add them to a team. Now, the role that they get will change the permissions they have inside of PagerDuty, but you can go ahead and do that. Now, next up, they're going to ask you to go ahead and create an on-call schedule. You can go ahead and do that here. So it might take a second to load up, but we can continue with the schedules here, and we can press new schedule, and we can now set up the schedule. So you've got the schedule name, the teams, the time zone, description. You can add the users in here, and then you can set up the rotation, so weekly, daily, the handoff times, the day, any restrictions that they have, you might want to go ahead and add that. And you can also add a start time here as well for the layer. And you basically keep adding these onto here. So you can basically have the schedule right here, and you can basically go ahead and save the schedule in there like that. Next up, we have escalate incidents to the right people. So we can go ahead and we can do this, and we can create an escalation policy. So essentially the way this works is you can give it a policy name, so whatever the policy might be, the description, the teams it applies to, the tags, all that kind of stuff. Now immediately you can set the trigger, so immediately after the incident is triggered, notify the following users. So you can go in here, select a user, and then you can add an escalation rule, so you can also notify something else, and if no one acknowledges, repeat this policy, and you can select amount of times that it gets repeated before it stops. And you can go ahead and save that, and that's basically an escalation policy for anything that may go on. And obviously we've got our integration services that I spoke about earlier. Let's leave this, and you can go ahead, add your integrations into here. They have so many, so you've got your integrations, your extensions, you've got workflows, you've got your webhooks as well. So if you want to connect to something like Slack, you can go ahead and do that within the app very, very easily. And then we have our receive and respond to instance here, which again you can go ahead and do through the integrations tab here, and you can add whichever integration you use for that. So I'd recommend setting up those first, as those are going to help you with everything. Now what you can see is the UI is very easy to use. First of all, we have our incidents. This will be all the open incidents, triggered, acknowledged, resolved, and the status. It's going to tell you the activity over the last 7 days. And you can also go here and you can add a new incident. So you can have the services that are impacted, the assigned to, the title, the urgency, priority. So you've got P1 to 5, P1 obviously being more priority. You have your additional responders to notify, the dial number and description. You can create an incident just like that. Now next up we got inside here we obviously have our alerts. So we have the teams that get alerted for this. We have the changes, the visibility. We have all of these different options here, custom fields you can go ahead and change for your incidents. So we can add different fields, and we can add field names, the field type. So we've got checkboxes, times, decimals, integers, all of those different ones, so you can make the incident forms customized, I guess you could say. We now have our services over here. So these are the different services that we might have. So we can add a name, we can add a description, we can assign it, so we can have we can set the policy. We have the noise, reduce noise. We can have intelligent, alert content. There's just different settings of the alerting. So it just depends on which one you prefer. And then again, we have our integrations that we can select up, and we can create it without an integration if we want to. And here we go. This is our service now, and we can create instance for it and stuff like that. We have our people here. So we kind of looked at people earlier. That's users, teams, stuff like that. And we also have our automations over here. So we can, we've got automatic detection. So we can automatically detect something. We've got automated actions. So for this, you're not going to need sales, but we can run these things automatically with like a click of a button, which just speeds up the process of common things, I guess you could say. And then you have your instant workflows as well, which are pretty useful to set up as well. So they've got some pre-made ones here. Major incident workflow with Slack and Zoom. So if there's a major incident, then you can create a Slack and Zoom sort of conference. So you've got your triggers here, and it's going to give you all the different actions here that you can go ahead and set up. So you can go and look into those a little bit better. We also have our analytics here, so we can check all the analytics for different things, the incidents, interruptions, services. There's tons of different analytics here that you can look at. You've got your reports here. And something that's cool is you can go ahead and copy this URL, and you can go ahead and send this to people. So if you need to send it to some team members or something like that, it's very easy to go ahead and share, so you can kind of be on the same page, maybe in a meeting or something like that. But yeah, it's very, very easy to use, and it's pretty customizable here in terms of the different, reports you can actually go ahead and do. Obviously, we have our integrations. I spoke about that a little bit, and then we have our statuses as well here. You also got your profile over here. You can change some of your profile settings, and then you can also go ahead and upgrade to their paid plans. So you have free, pro, and business, and they all have slightly different things. But it's really up to you which one you pick depending on your needs. But that is a basic beginner's guide to PagerDuty. If you find this video useful, be sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below it helped, and I'll see you in the next one.